Okay, so for today, as what I have promised, I am now going to discuss week 6 topic, which is about functions and include file. So I'll start with functions first. So I think you can see already in your screen the theme. I'll just share it again to make sure, since I have no audience, so we'll confirm that the theme has been shared already. Okay, so again, two topics, PHP functions and include file. So in PHP, there are two types of functions, the predefined functions and then the user-defined functions. So the predefined functions or the built-in functions, they are already available in PHP. So all we have to do is just to utilize them. So in our previous week, there are many instances in which we use the predefined functions in PHP. So just like yung discuss tayo ng file handling, yung fopen, fwrite, fread. So those are examples of predefined functions in PHP. So it's nice that in PHP we don't have to import packages. So we'll just utilize it. Okay. So but for tonight, tonight for me. But for today, the topic that I'll be discussing will be about the user-defined functions. So PHP functions are similar to other programming languages. So as what we know that when you say PHP function, it is just a block of statements that can be repeatedly used in a program. So a function is a piece of code which takes one or more input in the form of parameter and does some processing and returns a value. So there are two things that you should remember whenever you are going to create a function. So just like in other programming language, you create a function, then you have to invoke or call the function. Okay. So here I have a sample program in which, so what you can see, it has one function called add numbers. So when you are going to create a function in PHP, you have to start with the word function, followed by the function name, and then the open and close parentheses. So for this one, this is an example of a non-parameterized function. But also you can list your parameters here. So if you have more than one, you will just separate them with a comma. So the data type is optional. Okay. So again, the keyword function followed by the function name, open and close, optional parentheses, then the open and close braces. So in between the open and close braces, that is where you are going to write the body of your function. So actually the same concept in the other programming language. So if the function returns a value, you have to use the keyword return. But if it does not, so you're going to write it this way also. Okay, so that is how you're going to create a function in PHP. Okay, so after you have created it, of course, you have to call your function. Okay, so since it does not return any value, so you are going to write it as just a statement. So when you run this program, it will display the output, the sum is 25. Because according to the body of the function, it simply displays the message, the total sum is, then after the result, after adding num1 plus num2. So you see, it's not difficult to create a function in PHP. So it's not complex. When you are going to create a function in PHP, as what I have mentioned a while ago, you can also put parameters. So just separate them with a comma. And then, of course, when you call it, you also, the number of parameters here will be also be the same with the number of values or the number of arguments. Also in PHP, you can pass arguments, passing arguments by reference. So what does it mean? So here, as what you can see, there are two functions, si add5 tsaka si add6. Si add5, yung body niya is num is equal to num plus 5. Tapos here, plus 6. So in the body of the program, there is a variable called orig10, orignum I mean, has the value 10. And then when it calls add5, and then orignum, the output is, the original value is 10. And it's not 5 as set here inside the function. But in the second one, when you are going to run this one, the output is 16 because this is passing arguments by reference. So because of the presence of the ampersand symbol. Okay? So since passing argument by reference man siya, so na-update yung value. Okay? So si orignum, so 6 plus the value of orignum which is 10, that makes it 16. So that is an example of passing argument by reference. Also, you can create a function in PHP that returns a value. Okay, so you just write it the same with what you saw kanina. Then after, you will just have to use the return keyword. So return sum. So when you call add function, it brings the value of sum. Okay. Also, if the method returns a value, you can assign the value returned by the method to another variable. Okay, and also you can call your method inside the output statement. Okay, so that's the beauty of a function that returns a value. So when you run the program, the output is return value from the function colon 30. So this is 10 plus 30. So that is how you're going to create a function in PHP. So first one, if it does not return a value, do not use the return keyword. But if it returns a value, then you have to use the return keyword. Okay. So now, the next thing that I'm going to do is to demonstrate how to create a PHP program that is using a function. So let me share to you my screen again, entire screen. So this is difficult nga wala ko'y audience, no? Kaya medyo libog ko kung makita na ba ako ang screen. So I think so. Okay, so I already have prepared a form. If you remember, we have this activity before. Yung adding of numbers, yung pinadagdagan ko sa inyo, pinamodify ko sa inyo. Yung sa subtraction, multiplication, saka sa division. Okay? So, whenever you're going to create a program in PHP, so of course, you have to have the PHP tag. And then here, this is where you're going to, where you can write your function. Example, function add numbers. And example, you have two parameters, n1, and second parameter, n2. Okay, and then open and close. Then we will write the body. Example, have result is equal to $n1 plus $n2, and then return $result. Okay, so here you have created the function. So kanina I discussed that when it's not enough that you are going to create a function, you have also to call the function. So since this is parameterized, dapat when we call, we have to supply values inside the parenthesis also. So since the values that we are going to add comes from our form, so we have to by the way, para di kayo ma-confuse kung form variable siya or parameter siya, I'll just have num1 and num2. Okay? So again, since galing man siya sa form, no? So can have dollar p n1 is equal to dollar underscore post tapos si n1 and then dollar pn2 is equal to dollar underscore post n2. Okay, so when you call the function, you can have example dollar sum is equal to add n open pn1 dollar pn1 dollar pn2. Okay, so that is how you are going to call a function if the values are from the form. Okay, but here if you notice meron man tayong button, no, for addition, this one. So can have here if open tapos is set open dollar underscore post tapos ano yung pangalan dito, add en pareho yung pangalan ng method, no? So para di na lang mag-confuse, add number na lang ito tsaka ito later, add number. So add n and then begin. So ito yung magiging body tsaka end. Okay, so here what we are doing is we created the function and then call the function. So para mag-output siya, we need to make use of echo dollar sum. Okay, but then this will output on top of the form, but anyway we can utilize this later. So ano yung file name? Calc main. So calc main.php. So ayan. Sige, 6 and 2 plus, bakit 0? 6 plus 2 is 0. Let us see. Why is it 6 plus 2 is 0? Dollar pn1, dollar pn2, n1, tsaka n2. Ay, kasi ito. I did not update pala. Nag-change pala ako. Okay. So, 6 and then 3, I think it's working already. So, it's 9. So, you see, it doesn't output here. It outputs on top. Okay, because doon natin siya gi-echo or doon ko siya gi-echo sa PHP. So, if you would like to output it in the form, doon sa text input, you can just encode here. PHP, tapos echo dollar sum. question mark, greater than, for PHP, semicolon. Ayan. Then we will remove this one. Ayan. So it's 5. So we're able to, or I was able to assign 5 to a input text. Okay. So that is how simple it is to create a function in PHP. Okay, so you can actually strategize it also. You can also create a program in PHP that calls another PHP program. Example, file new, tapos example calc.php, and then you can restructure this one. So we'll just copy this and put it here in calc.php, and then sa form action we will change this one to the file name of PHP. Okay, so calc.php. Okay, so when we run it, hindi siya nag-echo. Bakit ba? Kasi nag-remove pala ako dito, no? Nag-remove ako dito. Kasi tanggalin ko muna to. Mamaya, pag mag-use tayo ng include, pwede na yun ibalik. Echo $sum. Tama ba? Echo $sum, yes. Ano yung file name ng calc main? So, 1 and 9. Ayan, so it displays 10. So this disadvantage of this is since it's not PHP self, so that's the reason why it loads a new page. But we can actually strategize so that it will not load to a new page. So we can revise this one. I hope you can follow. So we can revise this one. Wait, let me discuss first the include. Okay, so I have here a revised theme. I included PHP include. So PHP include or require, there are statements that will take all the text, the code, the markup that exists in the specified file. Kasi this is the syntax of include. Include tapos the file name. So, example, include calc.php. Okay, so all the all the variables, all the functions, text codes markup inside calc.php, yan, pwede yan siya ma-use in the PHP file that's calling it. Okay, so that's nice with include. Okay, so you can either use require or include. So si include lang, if there is an error, it will continue executing the script. Whereas si require, if there is an error, it will stop the script. It will not continue executing. So it is advisable that if you are using a complex or you are coding a complex web application for integrity and security purposes, you use require instead of include. Okay, but now since we are starting to learn, we will just use include. Anyway, the program that we are developing is not complex. So here, the syntax include, as what I have mentioned a while ago, tapos the file name, or required in the file name. So this one, Assuming this is the PHP file, I hope you see my my screen. So this is the PHP file, menu.php, and it's just a href. Tapos, yan. And then, oh, I forgot to, yeah, ito pala siya. So ito, there is another PHP file that is using menu.php. Okay? So, ganito lang yung pag-call niya. Include, tapos single quote, menu.php, tapos single quote. So with this, it can use all the text, all the markups in the menu.php. So this is really such a nice feature in PHP. Okay, so if we are going to apply that one in programming, here dito sa ginawa ko na calculator sample program, I can, so this is calc.php, no? So, I can have here, switch back to, yung sa PHP self, form action, para, the purpose why we are going back to PHP self class is that, para after calculating, it will not refresh to a new page, but rather it will just stay in the same form. Dollar underscore PHP underscore self. Ayan. Tapos here, our PHP file is just very simple. PHP code, I mean, it's very simple. Actually, I'm very sleepy. It's late night already. So, include, tapos, calc.php. Okay. So, it's calc.php. And then, so by doing this, kung ano yung meron dito kay calc.php, ito si sum, ito si function add number, we can use them here sa ating calcmain.php. Okay? So, burahin ko na lang muna to para di magdoble. Save. And then, here, yung sa value, ibalik natin yon. PHP, tapos echo, dollar, ano yun? X ba yun? Dollar, tapos semicolon, question mark greater than. Ayan. Okay. So, we can do that one class para, ayan. So, dito, gi-process yung input ni user. Tapos, balik tayo dito sa form. I-display niya yung value ni XX ba yun? Sum pala, sum. Sorry. Sum. Ayan. Okay. Six and 1 plus. Oh, ayan. So, it sets here 7. So, di siya nag-refresh kasi we are using PHP self. Okay, so you can do that one also. So it's late night for me. It's 11, it's 10:08 p.m. pala. It's not 11, but I'm very sleepy already. And it's my APE tomorrow. So I have supposed to be to sleep early because I need to do fasting. So what you're going to do, class, as your let's analyze is you are just going to complete this one. So this is plus, then you have subtraction, minus, multiplication, division, and then just add one more, three more functions for yung sinabi ko, subtraction, multiplication, and tsaka division. And then you output it here. But of course, you need to use condition, no, dito. Kung ano yung gi-click ni user na button, kung add, subtract, division, or multiplication. So this is just very easy. Actually, pang let's check lang siya. But I'll just record it in let's analyze. Kasi kung let's analyze siya, class, it has a greater percentage compared to let's check. So this is just very simple, and I know others know how to do this one already, especially those na nakapag-enroll na ng PHP in the previous semesters, yung iba na nag-re-enroll lang, nagka-problema lang before. But this is very useful for those students who are first time to enroll in PHP na wala talagang background. So you can do this one plus. So the succeeding programs that we will be creating will be using this kind of programming. Okay, so I hope you have learned about how to create functions and include file with this topic. And I hope I was able to properly record this one and I have shown the screen kay kakapoy og retake, no? So I will the deadline of your let's analyze will be Tuesday next week. And by Tuesday next week, start na tayo ng databasing. Okay? So I hope you have of course you have some already, no? Tapos, and I know you already have a background in the basics of database until joining of queries. Okay? So, I am actually using Mac. So, magkaiba na lang tayo dito sa doon sa environment ko sa MySQL. But other than that, everything is just the same. Okay. So, that will be all. Good night for me and for you. I hope you are having a good day. Thank you very much for watching this video.